Mage. Honest? What do you reckon?
A splendid idea, my boy. Plenty of fresh country air, rabbits to chase. You'd be as happy as Larry.
Terrific. Will you teach him some army tricks so I can take him with me when I go into the army?
You've made up your mind, have you? About the army, I mean.
Hell yeah. I'm going to be just like you. You don't mind, do you?
Young man, I couldn't be happier.
We'll really have to be getting along now, Miss Ferguson. Say goodbye, Shane.
Joan, did you hear that? He wants to be just like me. Just like me. I gathered from what you were saying to young Shane that you decided to stay on at Wentworth.
Under the circumstances, I think it's best. Just couldn't go away now.
Of course not. But if he does find a foster home, I'd just like to let you know that should you change your mind, my offer still stands.
Thanks, I appreciate that. I'm sure you can understand how I feel. I just couldn't go up there now without Shane after all the plans we made.
I know. It's a damn shame for all of us.
I mean, it'd be like having Nicky around all the time, reminding me. Must think I'm pretty weak.
Of course not. It'll probably be best if you knuckle down to some work. It can be a consolation sometimes.
Yeah, job's all I've got now. Unless you'd consider staying on with me.
Oh, it's a nice thought, Joan, but I think I'd find time hanging pretty heavily in my hands with you away at work all the time.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yes, you've got your work at the prison, and I've got my friends at Forbes. Pretty important for an old warhorse like me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just that I enjoy having you around so much. I sometimes forget you've got a life of your own to lead.
Not to mention a doctor who'll court-martial me when I get back. I should have seen him 3 days ago. I think I'll start packing when I get home.
But you're all right, aren't you?
Of course I am. Now, don't you worry.
Look, you just promise me you'll look after yourself, all
Look,
right?
you'll be seeing me again, I promise. And you know you can rely on me.
Yes,
All
I
we
know.
can do is try to carry on. Young Shane did, right?
Dude, here you are. Look, we've got to take over from Myra and Angel.
Oh, hang on a minute, love. This letter was just handed in at reception.
Who's it from?
It's from little Debbie Peters. Remember her? She was the one that was frightened of the freak. Have a look at it.
Mrs. Taylor is bringing us to see the end of the dancing. And I'm saying a prayer for you all. Never had anyone say a prayer for me before.
I'm going to get a real buzz out of knowing those kids are there, you know that?
Can't you just see them going crazy? 80 grand. Geez, if anyone had given me 80 grand when I was a kid. Judy, you all right?
Yeah, I just felt a bit dizzy, that's all.
Hey, it's not your pacemaker gizmo
come
playing up,
on.
is it?
Anybody can feel dizzy after a bit of exercise. It's nothing.
Yeah, but it never happens to anybody. It always happens to you.
Well, then it's my bad luck, isn't it?
Well, maybe you should see the doc. He's coming to see us later
Come
on. You
off
can just
it
tell
now.
him.
Look, we got a lot of money we're going to earn for those deaf kids. You say anything about this and we could blow the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, but what about your...
Bobby! Drop it, okay? Come on.
All I know is she came straight in and locked herself in the bedroom. Now, what's going on, Dennis? I know you've got something to do with it.
Well, yes, maybe I have, but, well, you know what Heather's like. She takes every little thing to heart.
It may be a little thing to you, but when a young man behaved that way in my day...
What?
Having a girl staying overnight in his room.
Oh, mercy, Swatties, I don't think it's anything to do with that.
Well, at least he had the decency to make an honest woman of her.
Well, look, I'd love to, and maybe I will. It'll be right champion, but...
No maybes about it. A gentleman would at least get engaged.
Look, honestly, I don't think it's anything to do with that.
Oh, Dennis, I'm the girl's mother. I know how she thinks. Oh, I don't know what you young people imagine marriage is all about these days. But let me tell you, there's more to it.
Just leave him alone. It's got nothing to do with Dennis.
Well, how am I supposed to know? Nobody tells me anything.
I'm going to lose my job, if you must know.
Stop eating our sandwiches, you bloody pig. They're not yours. They're Myers and Angel's, and they didn't want them.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't be eating them anyway, should you? You got an ulcer.
I'm bugging me out, so I'm hungry.
I don't like the missing meals. Did the doctor see them? Oh, I think they're just too tired to eat. Yeah, I didn't like the way the doctor looked at Judy.
I'm not surprised. In fact, they all look as though they're ready for the script.
Stupid bitch! Oh, my ankle! Oh, twisted my ankle. Sorry, I was just resting. Get Myra! Get Angel!
No, I won't allow that. They're resting.
But we'll break the rules. We'll be stuffed if you don't get them.
Well, there's a rule that allows for a substitute.
Good on you, Dot.
Remember, you dance with that one.
What are you doing?
Oh, my God.
Shut up and keep dancing.
I'll leave.
Okay, love. I know winter was a nasty piece of work, but surely you must have realised getting involved with...
I knew I was putting my head in a noose bringing the drugs here, but... what else can I do?
I don't know. I wish you'd come to me, though. I'm pretty sure Ferguson's behind it.
I didn't even realise. God, if she'd been there today, I'd have smashed her face in.
I know, but hey, let's try and be rational. Why don't you go to the governor? I mean, it's not the first time an officer's family have been threatened.
It's a bit late for good advice now, isn't it?
Oh, well. Hey, maybe it's an ill wind. At least if we're both on suspension, we'll get some time together. Eh? Chance to be sure.
I'm leaving work with a black mark against my name. And all you can do is sit there talking about us.
I don't believe you. Could you try, for just once in your life, forgetting about your blasted job?
I've tried to explain to you.
God, my God, your mother's right. If you go on being obsessed with your career, do you know who you'll end up like? Joan bloody Ferguson. Yeah, coming home to her pot plants and her dog.
Well, it's better than ending up like Mum.
Don't be scared to grow up and face a real relationship. You know, wake up to yourself. You're not a kid. When you've made up your mind, let me know.
Good God, aren't you dressed yet?
Oh, Mum. Some people can lie in on a Saturday.
Well, if you hadn't spent half the night arguing with Dennis. He's right, you know. A man doesn't like a woman who puts her job ahead of him.
Can't wait to tie me to the kitchen sink, can you?
That's all you young women think marriage is, don't you? Men like your father don't grow on trees. And yet here you are, passing up Dennis.
Mum, I just don't want to get married yet, okay? Maybe when I'm older.
Oh, I suppose you imagine Mr. Wright will gallop up just like that when you're good and ready. Well, life doesn't work that way. Time and tide wait for no man, so they say.
Yeah, you've told me 100 times already.
You're going to lose him. At least I've got my kids and my wonderful grandchildren to be proud of in my old age. But at the rate you're going, you'll have nothing except your prison uniform.